we are ready for semi-final number 2 at the National Ice Center. The Flyers in their white with blue trim and the Panthers in their yellow strip. Tom Darnell and Tom Paring in charge of this one. Lee Young and James Kavanagh on the lines. The Nottingham crowd wanted a penalty call there. They felt that he was hooked or high stick there. Schultz to Clark. Clark turns and fires just wide. Lawrence grabs the rebound and keeps it alive for Schultz, and Schultz takes a big bump there from Tommy Muir. Good shoulder check by Muir, but Schultz sticks with it. And Schultz is going to draw a penalty. It'll be Keg going to the box for the Fife Flyers.
That whole situation starts with an offensive zone turnover by Fife again. Instead of just getting the puck deep behind their D, they turn over, they get hemmed in, and they take a penalty.
Well, it's another one of those long shifts, and you start to get tired, and you get your stick in there into the feet, and all of a sudden the guy goes down.
Schultz, time on his side, 1:05 to go in the Keg penalty. Schultz dances around Fox, high shot off the shoulder of Brown. He is reading and reacting well between the pipes for Fife. But what a save, the original save on Moran, and then the presence of mind to stick with it was a thing of beauty. Here's Quick to Clark, the captain, up top shelf where you keep the good whiskey, 1-0 Panthers.
Well, David Clark has a habit of scoring goals in these big games, and if you watch his movement on that power play, he first goes to the slot area, and then he moves out. So no one's covering him. When he steps out, you can see him here. He steps out, the pass comes, and he's got a rocket for a shot. He releases it quick, and he gets it up. Under the bar, Brown has no chance. There's too much traffic in front there. He's not going to make that save. Maybe a little slight deflection off somebody in front there, and which helps the puck get to the back of the net. But a good job from the Panthers on their power play.
Well, look at Lawrence and Myers, 6'4" and 6'3", two gigantic men in front of Brown. But the captain, David Clark, it's being credited to Clark as his 21st. We'll keep an eye, and maybe it was Myers or Lawrence off the arm in front. It doesn't matter. No one on the Panthers bench will care. All they want to know is that it's a 1-0 scoreline now, well past the halfway mark of this game. 8:15 to go, second period. And now a 3-on-1 developing. Here's Bomback, hands it off! 2-0! What a shot! What a finish! And they're off and running at the NIC. It's your buddy, Logan McMillan.
Offensive zone pinch by Philip Paquette. No high man, stranded, Kyle Hornback, and that was a great goal. You know, kudos to Cullen there.
Bomback with a magnificent pass, and McMillan, bing, bang, boom. He's not going to make a mistake right there, and for Logan McMillan, that's his 12th of the season.
Well, it's a great pass from Bomback, and McMillan has all the time in the world to finish that off. But you're absolutely right. A mistake on the pinch creates a 2-on-1. And it's part of the, you give Panthers those kind of opportunities, they're going to hurt you. And I said a bit earlier, you have to be careful on your pinches against the Panthers.
15:18 to go, third period action. Panthers 2, Flyers no score. Here's Dingle. Dingle! What a shot! They used the term picking the top corner. He owned the top corner. What a shot by Dingle.
Well, you know, you get pucks at the net, and stranger things can happen. I mean, the shots from the outside, almost on the boards, and I think he does catch Wickman by surprise. He's just not ready for a shot to come to the net. Look, it's almost down to the red line. Picks the top corner. It might have went slightly off of Wickman there, but that's a big goal for Fife. And Fife have been playing a very good third period so far.
And that's not the first time Dingle's done that this year. Premier Sports game when you guys had it, Dingle exact same goal from the corner.
Dorr trying to get it to Dingle. And I think there's a lot of people in this building still amazed by the Dingle goal. Here's Cullen trying to go 5-hole. It squeaks in. Waved off immediately.
Well, I think the referee's going to say the puck went in after the whistle, which I think it did. I mean, there was you can see here's a nice play there. I think that's from Dingle, who wipes out there, but he still manages to make a nice pass. And a quick shot. They're really testing Wickman from the angles right now. Maybe they think they can score from some bad angle shots. I believe the whistle goes before. Is it because of the Fife Flyer, you know, lunges onto Wickman, and that's why the goal scored, and the referee calls that back. Face-off comes outside, but I think the whistle did go before the puck crossed the red line.
Cullen, after you mentioned it, the magnificent play by Dingle. He wipes out, but he gets the puck to Cullen. Cullen has a couple of chances. Darnell lost sight of the puck, and then Cullen crashes into Vickman. No goal. The referees waved it off straight away, but right now the Fife Flyers are riding some momentum. Delahy tries to keep it in. He bounces it off of Moran, and Moran on a 2-on-1 with Mosy. Moran! Up top shelf! It's 3-1.
Well, you know, you talk about the Panthers dealing with pressure, and they've been able to come back a few shifts later after goals against and score. And here's another example of it. They don't seem to take too long to get that goal back. And you look at the pass, Mosy gets it quickly to Moran, and he just has time. I mean, the defenseman there stays in the middle. He's got to either pressure that puck carrier or take the guy in a wide drive. What happens there is the goalie then doesn't know. He's not sure if the guy's going to pass or shoot. And I think the defenseman probably could have maybe slid across or made it tougher on that play. It was just a bit too easy for the puck carrier to pick a spot.
Moran with his 18th assisted by Mosy, and Moran showing you why he played in the NHL. 556 AHL games played for Brad Moran as well. He played in the NHL with Columbus and Vancouver, but that is an all-world finish right there. And this is hockey, right? You get that goal called back on one end of the ice against Cullen, and this is what I referenced earlier when Dingle scored. The Panthers seem to have a way to come back and have that statement shift, and right now they know they dodged a bullet, so to speak, on the Cullen goal. They come right back, and Moran puts a dagger in. A cross pass. Here's Fox. That's a high bomb over the net of Vickman didn't have to make the save. You just watched it sail over the net. You've got to hit the net now if you're the Flyers. Here's Mosy. Oh, he threads the needle. Evan Mosy with a showtime goal. It's 4-1.
Well, you know, I said it earlier. He's carried the Panthers team in a lot of these big games, and for a guy that wasn't really known before he came here, and he was kind of a risky signing for the Panthers originally, and everybody was saying, who is this guy? Well, now we know who Mosy is, because he's scored another brilliant goal. That's a great, it looked like a backhand shot, I think, in the end here, where he just up and over the goalie, under the bar. Great shot.
Speed kills, and that just killed the Fife Flyers down to the left side. Evan Mosy. The decibel level cranking up here. The Panthers, after a 2-year absence, back at the Final Four, and they are 23 seconds away from punching a ticket to the grand final on Sunday versus the defending champion Coventry Blaze. Here's Farmer, long-range shot, handled easily by Brown. 10 seconds remain. The Panthers fans are on their feet. Here's Paquette. Paquette goes around McMillan. Semi-final number 2. The Panthers win 4-1 over the Flyers. A magnificent team effort from the team in gold and black.
Well, overall, the Panthers were the better team and created the most, the best opportunities, I should say. Fife, they made a brave effort. They kept it, it's only 2-1 in the third period, but I think that experience and that quality in the Panthers line, that depth really paid off in the third period for the Panthers.
Todd, first of all, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've got to tip my hat to the Nottingham Panthers. That's probably the best performance or team performance we've seen out of them this year. They were relentless tonight. They came at us in waves, and thought, the first period, I thought we held in there pretty good. I thought, they maybe got a couple of the better of the chances, but we had a few. That second period that really, they stretched us out a bit, had us running around. A couple quick goals, and we had to regroup in that the third period. We were looking for a spark, which we got, and we thought, 2-1, we're in this. We get one called off, they come right back down the other end and score that third, and it gives them that little cushion that instead of putting them under pressure, they called that smart timeout. They called that timeout. They went back to a 1-4. They were very aggressive, and they just shut us down.
In terms of your own team, though, you must be pretty proud with the performance.
Look, I mean, I would say for, when they went on that run to throw them up with a chance of winning the conference, even in the last closing weeks of the season where we lost a couple of games, but we're really just tuning up for the playoffs, did we peak against Braehead? Quite possibly, because that was our 2 best games of the season, I would say. That was some high quality hockey that was played. Hard to say. I know the guys wanted it, and we're always up against it, playing Nottingham in their home building in a semi-final. But difficult one to take right now. We'll regroup and look over it. I know the guys are pretty upset right now, but they got a lot to be proud of. That was a good season. They saw themselves through some adversity and really came good in the end.
A couple of years ago was a first taste. This maybe was an aperitif. Next year, the main course?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that first year that we went in there, it was all kind of, you were dazzled by the lights, and the weekend went by in a blink. This year, you get to take a step back, and I really thought that we had the group that was going to give us a serious run at it. I mean, they've put up some special performances this season, but once again, Braehead, better team in the night, and they look like favorites to win it for me.
So Corey, back in the big dance again. How does it feel?
Good. Yeah, as a team, we've been here a lot, and we've learned some key lessons, and we've learned from our mistakes. And I think as a team, we're right where we need to be right now. Obviously, we know we've got some stiff competition with the Coventry Blaze, and we've got to execute at a very high level.
What was a key moment in the game for you?
Scoring each goal is always a key moment, but I think when they scored that first goal from a really bad spot, and we've had times in the season where we've had a little scared as a hockey team. Defensively, it's we're not built to be a defensive-minded team, and we've had to really learn that we're capable, and we've endured pressure. We've shown that we can, and the guys had a little bit of confidence in that. And today I was most proud of the fact that our guys continue to play hockey and not just wait and watch. We like to fashion ourselves as a team that dictates. Even if we're playing defense, we like to dictate teams into bad areas to make mistakes. And I thought after that goal they scored, we started to funnel them into bad areas, and then we scored our goal, the third one, which was a huge momentum goal. Obviously, we took a timeout, and we changed our system to 1-4, and then they had nothing.
Was that the timeout? You just wanted to change things around? Just needed that time to get the message across?
Well, it's tough. Instead of I'm not going to need it. Hopefully, at the end of the game, so it's easier just to reset, bring them back, and just go over the system and say, hey, we've done this before. We did it against Belfast in the quarterfinals, and you guys know what you're doing. This is how we do it. Just reminding them, and it's always communication is such a funny thing with players. It's tell them you're going to tell them something, actually telling them, and then reminding you to tell them something 3 times, and we try and do that. And to give them credit, I thought at that stage, after that, they had absolutely nothing, not a sniff. So we did a good job.
What about Coventry then? They're a team that can cause real problems. Look at what they did to Sheffield, look at what they did to Cardiff.
Yeah, well, look at what we did to Sheffield, look at what we did to Cardiff. And, they're a team who's defensively, I think they're really good. They're well structured. I think Chuck does a great job. I think he adjusts the system. He's a tactical guy, which I like. It's a nice little chess match. You don't get that a whole lot in this league. A lot of teams basically stick to what they do and try and learn that. And he's one of those unique characters who does some different things, which I like. They stick to a little bit what they do. They play their nice 1-2-2 trap, and they put a lot of bodies in front of their goaltender, the big goaltender, and they clear rebounds, and they force you to play perimeter hockey. And it's a challenge for us is to get into those dirty areas and not make mistakes, because if you make mistakes, you're in trouble.
Some of the big games, you see teams feel each other out first 5-10 minutes of the game. Coventry have come out really hard. You're known as a team that comes out really hard. It could be an explosive first 5 minutes, couldn't it?
It could, or I could just slow things down to a terrible stop, and you never know what we're going to do, and you never really know what they're going to do, and that's why I think the matchup's unpredictable. And as I said, I have a lot of respect in some of their players. I coached Brett Robinson since he was 6 years old, so I know a lot of those guys, and I've been around them, and I have a lot of respect for them as hockey players. I think their Brits compete very hard. They've got good Brits, and they've got a nice little team set up.